March is Women's History Month. Let's talk about how we're doing it homeschool style. Hi, I'm Jennifer. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your being here. I'm so excited about this video for so many reasons. First of all, it is my very first collaboration that I'm hosting. And so I want to just take this moment and thank my friends, my YouTube friends who are joining me on this collaboration. Please make sure that you check out the playlist below. I have it linked down in the description because you are going to find so many amazing ideas. The YouTubers who are joining this collaboration come from a variety of perspectives. You're going to find videos of homeschool mamas who have preschool all the way up to middle school children. You're going to have mothers of only children. You're going to find videos of people who have one daughter that they are homeschooling right now. And you're going to find videos of people who have multiple daughters that they are homeschooling right now. Of people who have sons and daughters. And so it's going to be such a great experience to get so many different perspectives. I really encourage you to check out that playlist. You will not be sorry. So the second reason that I am so excited about this is it is Women's History Month. There are so many studies out there that show how a mother impacts their daughters, their social well-being, their self-esteem, their goals, and it's just on and on. I mean, that's a whole nother video if we wanted to talk about that research. But I am excited to be able to talk about how we are planning on celebrating Women's History Month in our homeschool. Now, first of all, I guess the first thing to say is we celebrate women all year round in our homeschool. My daughter naturally gravitates towards asking questions about the women that come up in her studies. When she was doing spelling and Molly Pitcher came up where it was part of spelling, but it talked about how she dropped her pitcher and helped with the Revolutionary War, and she was shooting off those cannons. And so we then studied Molly Pitcher because my daughter was excited about it when she read about it in her spelling curriculum. So women's history is something that we study all the time. However, we just finished our America's Story 1 history curriculum. And so right now, this is great because our history for the entire month of March is going to focus on women's history. And I'm really excited about that. So first of all, I have this book from a long time ago, Amazing Women in American History. This is what the resolution by Congress stated as to why there is a Women's History Month. It says, American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And that is so true. There are so many ways that women have impacted our history. So we have 4 major ways that we are going to study women's history this month. Number 1 is women getting the vote. We are just over 100 years since women were awarded the vote with the 19th Amendment. That happened in 1920. Obviously, we are now in 2021. For 2021, the official theme of Women's History Month is Valiant Women of the Vote, Refusing to be Silenced. So we're going to talk about 3 women who impacted us getting the vote. The first one is Sojourner Truth. I have this book. This is actually what we use for our Bible curriculum. In here is a spread on Sojourner Truth. And it is just amazing. It talks about her, but at the end, it says she is an example of someone who trusted God and wasn't afraid. Is there a cause that you feel strongly about, and what can you do to make a difference? And so I'm hoping that that's going to open up some really neat conversations. I also want to bring in the speech that she gave. What a powerful American speech that should not be overlooked. And so I'm very excited that we're going to speak about her. Number two, obviously, Susan B. Anthony. And so we have the Who Was book with regards to her. And the third person with regards to the vote is, I found her in this Women Who Dared book, which we had. So I have been collecting these strong women books for quite a while because, like I said, my daughter just navigates two strong women. And so therefore, whenever I found them on sale or whatever, I've collected them. Some of these are actually borrowed as well. So, but anyway, I found in this book Fannie Bullock Workman, which I did not know too much about her beforehand. She is actually considered a courageous climber, and so she climbed to a peak in the Himalayas. But when she did, she held up a newspaper with the headline "Votes for Women." And so we're going to look into her a little bit because she's just not as well known. And so I thought that that would be fun to look into someone who isn't quite as well known. The second way that we are going to be incorporating women into our studies this March is through the Heritage Letter. Now, if you are not familiar with the Heritage Letter, I will include a link down below. It is a homeschool mama-run organization, and they send out a historical letter once a month for the subscription. They also have on their website some free information. So I encourage you to go look there. You will find some great free information. For March, their letter is about Phyllis Wheatley. And so they have quite a bit of information online about Phyllis Wheatley at the Heritage Letter. But they do an entire week with Phyllis Wheatley. And so you get to talk about the poems that you wrote. They have worksheets that go with the different poems that she wrote. And then they have the poems for you to be able to read. And so we're going to really look into Phyllis Wheatley some. We have already mentioned her quite a few times within our history curriculum. This year, our poetry is going to focus on Phyllis Wheatley poems. And so I'm pretty excited about that as well. The third area that we are focusing on with Women's History Month was actually chosen by my daughter. I handed her these three books: 100 Extraordinary Stories for Courageous Girls, Bold Women in Black History, and 50 True Stories of Daring Women of God. And I asked her to look through those books and see if there was anyone that was mentioned in those that she was interested in finding more information about and she was interested in studying. And so she looked through them. So from this book, she picked Gabby Douglas. From this one, she picked Dominique Dawes. So do you notice the theme here? Now I am actually going to add Mary Lou Retton to that. So we're going to study those three gymnasts. So I'm really excited about that because she is very into gymnastics. It's her sport right now. She really loves it. I love the fact that she's going to study these strong female gymnasts. Fourth way we are going to incorporate women are women of science. And now we have just watched the Mars rover landing. That was awesome. We had a great time watching it. And so we're really going to focus on that area. We're going to focus on women of flight. And so that will include Amelia Earhart. It will also include Bessie Coleman. Then we will read Who Was Sally Ride. And we will also study Dr. Mae Jameson. Now, my friend Michelle Gay, science teacher, has two great videos that we're going to be focusing on. One is on Bessie Coleman, and the other one is on Dr. Mae Jameson. Both of them are great videos, so I encourage you to check out her channel because you will find some really good information there. And then, of course, we have to study Katherine Johnson. How can we study women in space without studying Katherine Johnson? She was rejected by NASA the first time that she applied, but she persevered. She helped put men on the moon. I learned that the mathematical calculations that she did actually impacted and helped with the Mars rover landing that we just watched. So this is one of my favorite quotes by her is like what you do and then you will do your best. And I think that that's one of the true points of us taking so long to study women's history is to know that the world is open, that like what you do, find what you like what you do, and then you will do your best. So speaking of quotes, on Teachers Pay Teachers as a free download, we have this great Women's History Month. So here's a number of quotes, and then you do a quote analysis. And so after we study the author of these quotes, you can analyze your quote and how does this quote relate to the author's life, and then finally make a connection and how you can apply this to your life. So I'm excited to do this with a number of the different quotes that we've learned. Throughout the month, we're going to be working on my book of brilliant women. So this is another free download from Teachers Pay Teachers, which I'll include the link below. And so it's just really great for each of the women that we're going to study. There's a little page for you to talk about what problem did she want to solve, how did she work to solve it, and then 1 to 3 interesting facts about her, so that at the end you will have a book. And so then at the end of the month, you have what problem do you want to solve and how will you work to solve it. Please remember to check out the playlist below. I am so thankful for my YouTube friends that came together for this collaboration on Women's History Month and how we are teaching our daughters. It is going to be such a fun month. I'm very excited to see the ideas that they have so that I can incorporate some of them as well. But if you have any questions, please drop those down below and please let me know what your plans are for Women's History Month. I hope that you have a great day and thank you again for your time. I appreciate it and I look forward to seeing you again next time.